What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the best attackers and the best defenders for this meta, which is Safeguard and Stunning Reflection. So I think this meta has potential to be really fun and enjoyable. So starting off from the science class, I actually did do some matches before making this video, so I actually have some inside experience, I guess. So hopefully I can help you today. And yeah, the science class, I-Bomb is tactic, so he is probably going to be pretty decent with his poisons. Ant-Man also has a good chance to apply like a bunch of poisons, and also you can like refresh and pause them. So I think he's going to be really decent as well. Cassie definitely has good potential to be one of the best attackers because power things just bypass the node. Joe Fixit his bleeds. Quicksilver, most of his damage is red, which bypasses the node. Mr. Negative, if you get like a 7-star rank 2, I think he could be really nice just because most of his damage comes from those degens. So if you're a good player and you get like a 7-star rank 2 Mr. Negative, I think he probably deserves a spot in your deck. And then there's also Scorpion. His special 2 bypasses the Safeguard, a special 1. You can also spam special 1s to just apply a lot of those sting debuffs and bait specials, which is basically like power stings. So that bypasses as well. There's also the Piggy, which again, power stings to bypass the node, and Spot. I'm also super excited to use Spot again because it's basically like one special 2 and the fight is over. So it's just really fun. And then moving on to the skill class. Black Cat, I believe, is tactic, same as Black Panther, so they should work really nice. Kate, you know, she's amazing because she can, you know, basically deal with those shrug off type of champions because they're passive cold snap. But keep in mind, you don't want to stun ever with Kate. Because if you do that, the opponent is going to get stunned. And basically, you are going to get stunned because of Stunning Reflection. Because when you stun the defender, you get stunned instead. And then you don't have your riposte arrow to save you. Because there's the cooldown. So definitely never pirate with Kate if you use her. Massacre is tactic, same thing with Nick Fury. So they both are just crazy. Black Widow Deadly Origin, I think, is really good as well. And also I included Mole Man because of his, you know, guaranteed bleeds. Now, up next, we have the Mutant class. So for Mutants, there are actually quite a bit. So Archangel, I think he's tactic, so he is obviously crazy. I think Iceman is interesting. I'm not too sure if he's tactic. I think he is. But I think he's going to be really nice because he's going to be a good defender too. There's also going to be Omega Red. If you have like maybe an Ascendant one, he could be really strong. Onslaught is a beast because he's tactic and it's Onslaught. And also you can use like Bishop against shrug off skill champions like Kingpin, Korg. Because now we can like throw special 1 and like help them shrug off more debuffs and just deal the damage that way. I don't think he's going to be that fast, but I think he is decent also because he's a good defender. And then also you can use Domino if you get like super lucky with the crit bleeds. Up next, we have the tech class, which first one, Fam. So just to let you know, Fam, his special 2 does not bypass the node. So I would never use Fam in this meta on attack. Always want to use him on defense. So just to let you know. Guardian is actually really busted. One special 2, everything just dies. It doesn't even matter because he doesn't crit with his basic. So he pretty much never does like more than 1%, I would say. So he's pretty nice. Nebula is tactic, so she does work really well. Nimrod I included for like dominoes. I think with like special 1 and special 2, you can probably kill most dominoes and champions because most of his damage is like the special 2 shocks, which they bypass the node, which is great. And then also you can use Omega Sentinel. She's tactic. She's got a bunch of debuffs of the SP2. I would use her if the opponent has like prowess. So like against Bishop, you can definitely use Omega Sentinel because she also inflicts the incinerates, which means you can shut down the Stunning Reflection for a little bit. You can also use Penny. She is tactic. She also has those incinerates. Special 2 has a bunch of hits, which means, you know, even if they don't hit over 1%, there's a bunch of hits there. So you could do some decent damage. And then also, after the SP2, you have the crazy incinerate damage, which is going to get amplified with the Vicious from the node. And then also you can use Red Skull. I did use my Red Skull once against my 7-star rank 2 Domino. And she died from 1 special 2 and 2 special 1, so it was pretty great. And my Red Skull is only rank 4. You can obviously use Shuri, most of her damage is shocks anyway. And you can also use Warlock, he's tactic. I don't think he's going to be as fast. I don't have mine in the deck, I believe. But you can definitely use him or put him in the deck because he's a good defender for sure. He definitely could work on attack too. Now, the Cosmic class, we have Galen. His Harvest bypasses the safeguard. There's also Gore, his tactic. I think he's going to be really strong because, you know, it's just got a bunch of debuffs, so he's always just going to deal so much DPS to the opponent. There's also Hyperion, you know, incinerates, spam incinerates to get the job done. But keep in mind, you have to play the fight as stun immune when you don't have an incinerate, because at the start of the fight, you know, they're going to have the stunning reflection active. And then once you pop a special one and get an incinerate on the opponent, you can stun them for a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Same thing as Kate Bishop, basically. And then Vox, man. Vox is tactic. I'm curious to see what Vox can do, because in this meta, you can actually use specials, which means you can put your debuffs. So him being tactic as well, I think he's going to be super, super fast. And then lastly, we have Venom, especially if you got like a 6-star relic for Venom. He is going to be pretty nasty. Now, I am really happy that I can finally use my Absorbing Man. I used him like 2 or 3 times, and I've done 60-second matches because he's just such a beast. You can just use him with whatever form you want. Just do a couple of intercepts, that red damage is going to get increased, and you go from there. Also, you can refine your Magma form and get those passive Incinerate, which are going to shut down the stunning reflection if you want to stun. So, that's another tip right there. You can also use Diablo, he's amazing. Most of his damage is poisons anyway. Guillotine Deathless if you don't have a better option. She does deal some extra damage. There's also Longshot, which I put mine in the deck. I think he's pretty nice. Not going to be as busted as the previous meta, but I think he's going to be really strong. And then the tactic ones, Doom. I think Doom is going to be really nice. You know, obviously, his SP2 has really high DPS with those Incinerates, especially him being tactic. I think maybe SP3 Special 2 probably killed the opponent. There's also Kushala, she's busted. Again, not as crazy as the previous meta because Power Shield was just amplifying her Incinerate damage, but she's tactic too, and she's going to be really strong. Mojo can work against maybe Cosmic Champs. You can go with Tiger as well. She's still busted, yep. There's also the Wolf. I don't think he's going to be as strong, but he is tactic, and most of his damages comes from the SP2, which has some red damage in it, and then also the Incinerates after are really strong. And then lastly, Wiccan. I don't think Wiccan is going to be super, super strong, but he does have a lot of those debuffs that he can place. So I think he can definitely be pretty fast for an attacker. Now, we have the best defenders. From the science class, we have Ant-Man. He does have 2 immunities, Shock and Poison, which is really nice. And also, he glances. So if he glances, you basically can't place debuffs for a little bit, which is just going to slow you down. That's just what's going to happen. Then, obviously, the worst defender in the game, probably Photon. You can't nuke her, which means she's going to be a problem. And I placed mine down 3 times. All people died against her because she's so stupid. You know, if you just can't nuke Photon, it's a problem. And you can't nuke her in this meta. So, yeah, everyone just dies because she's busted. Same thing with Jessica Jones. I think, you know, the more you fight Jessica Jones, the more the fight goes, the more annoying she gets because she gets investigation, she reverses your healing, your power gain, and also she goes unstoppable, unblockable, and all that stuff. Now, I included Sandman. I think Sandman could be pretty tricky, actually, because he's got triple immunities, poison, shock, and bleed. So, if you don't have something to deal damage, except those debuffs, you know, you're gonna definitely... she's gonna definitely slow you down. And then something I hope the community doesn't do is put evaders like Spider-Gwen and Spider-Man, because just imagine if you don't have something like Poison or Incinerate to shut down the stunning reflection, and then you can actually stun. Just imagine fighting a Spider-Gwen or a Spider-Man high sig without being able to stun them. Oh, that's gonna feel terrible. So I really hope nobody does that. So yeah. Moving on to the skill class, we have Agent Venom. The skill class is gonna be definitely super popular in this meta because they're shrugging off. Agent Venom shrugs off. Killmonger, you don't want to debuff him too much. Korg, Kingpin, Mulman, they're definitely going to be the most popular defenders in this meta because they just shrug off, which just immediately slow you down. Now, from the mutant class, there is Bishop. You know, you don't really want to bleed, shock, or incinerate Bishop, so there's 3 types of debuffs you don't want to inflict to him, which means he's most likely going to slow you down unless you have like another option, like maybe Diablo or something. Now, there is also going to be Iceman, triple immunities, poison, bleed, and incinerate. Pretty good stuff. And also, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to find a counter that is also immune to cold snap. So, like Warlock isn't going to be too fast because the opponent is bleed immune. Iceman is going to be bleed immune. I don't think Domino is going to be too crazy because you can like Shuri, you can Mega Sentinel, you can Nimrod, Red Skull. So I don't include her as like the hardest defender. But I will include Stormax because Stormax does glance. And she can definitely like mess you up, trigger you with the glancing because you can't really place your debuffs and deal extra damage. Now, from the tech class, Penny is basically stun immune in this meta because you can't poison, you can't incinerate because she's immune to it. And you're just gonna have to like bait heavies, check block damage and all that stuff. Now there's Guillotine 2099. I think she's gonna be really tough because she's poison immune. So you need to have Incinerate if you want to stun her. Because if you don't have that, man, I don't know how you're gonna knock her down. Maybe if you know the spacing of this SP2, I do it sometimes. But yeah, this champion is gonna be really tough because you actually need to knock her down. Because she's gonna basically phase. You're gonna miss. And then there's also Warlock. You know, if Warlock prolongs the fight, which Safeguard basically does that, there is a chance you lose more health from the infection. So he could be pretty stressful to fight. Also, he's got triple immunities. Cold Snap, Poison, and Bleed. And there's also Mega Sentinel. I thought I wanted a Mega Sentinel that was basically like stun immune because I didn't have a Poison or Incinerate. Because you don't really want to poison her anyway. So you pretty much want to Incinerate only because she's going to heal from the poison. So, you know, being a stun immune, you might want to bait some heavies. And then if she throws like a couple of lights in a row, she can build up her armors as well. So she could be a tricky one. Now we have the Cosmic class. Adam with Stunning Reflection, if he hits you with 2 lights in the block, I believe he goes unblockable. He activates his buffs, which the first one is unblockable. So he's going to break through your block and maybe combo you after. So yeah, he could be pretty tough to fight if you don't have a Poison or Incinerate to do that, to inflict to him. And there's also Maestro. He's immune to Incinerate and Poison. So basically stun immune Maestro, which, yeah, you know, it's definitely going to be fun. And then Terrax. You know, the problem with Terrax is that he doesn't have too much HP, but Safeguard saves him from that trouble. So, you know, he's going to prolong the fight because you're going to have to wait his raw field, especially if he's 6-100 at the beginning. So I think Terrax is going to be really strong. He's also Shock and Bleed immune. So, you know, being Bleed immune is actually super, super strong because, I mean, it's the most common, you know, damage over time effect. So I think that helps him out as well. And then lastly, we have the Mystic class. Dragoman, if you don't incinerate him because he's poison immune, he's going to be stun immune, which means you cannot shut down his power gain if it gets out of control. So I think he could be pretty tough with MD. There's also Chavez. You know, if you don't poison or incinerate, fighting a stun immune Chavez, it rarely goes well. You know, she can just throw a bunch of heavies, just, you know what happens against Chavez. And then Kindred, I believe he's poison and incinerate immune, which means he's going to be consistently stun immune. And yeah, if he's stun immune, there's a higher chance to throw the heavies, and then you just get the charges at you a lot faster, so that can definitely suck. And then also Mephisto, he's poison immune, and you don't really want to incinerate him either because he gets power gain, he gets willpower. So basically a stun immune Mephisto as well, so that could be troublesome. So yeah, man, that's gonna be it for the best attackers, best defenders. I played 3 or 4 matches. I'm not sure if I won all of them. Maybe I won 3 instead of 4, I believe. But yeah, I think this meta is going to be really fun. I'm definitely going to do a bunch of streams. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try my best and push as much as possible this season. So yeah, guys, hopefully this video helped you. And if it did, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.